And yes, the 2027 African Cup of Nations will run from the likes of June 19 right up to July 17, 2027. And equally, Manchester United will be playing the Champions League as of next football season after beating Liverpool 3-2. Good evening to you and welcome to Sport Box on Royal Television with me, Sonny Tangunyi, and the program comes up every Mondays, Wednesdays, and equally Fridays and Saturday. So any moment where you want to watch sports, these are the days. And equally, we are going to take on this break. When we come back, we'll give to you our sports update hour. And I know that you wouldn't want to miss our sports update. See you right back. The boys of Coach Leneme, Fako United and Jaku boys are smiling as they are already into the corridors of the mini Interpost for the 2026 Southwest Regional League. And yes, sir, we are going to begin straight away to our sports update before looking at what we are going to be discussing today. We are going to be looking at the results so far of match day 17 of the MTN Elite One Championship. For those who gave in their predictions as of last game, this is the time for you to know if your predictions actually caught or they were into the box or not. I will go straight away to look at the game that was to be played at exactly 8 p.m. And yes, I told you the last time that Unisport has found a strategy, and that is playing games in the night. And with these games being played in the night, it is always a win. Unisport Bafang straight 3 games played have scored a total of 16 goals so far and have been able to record just 1 goal. And let's take a look at the results so far of the MTN Elite One Championship match day 17. And we find Unisport that whitewash RS Fortuna 8-0, followed by the likes of Gazelle that was defeated by Victoria United 1-0 over there at the Rumdaja Stadium, making it a 2 straight victory in terms of this particular outing. But before we get to why not look at the results of the MTN Elite One Championship match day 17, let me take you to the Douala International Airport where Victoria United, after going to the north, they were able to grab 6 points into their pocket, defeating Kotosport of Garwa 2-0, and the likes of Gazelle defeating her 1-0, and her fans equally with this great result recorded in Garwa, her fans decided to welcome her in a grand style. I take you to the Douala International Airport where the fans of Victoria United welcome the players and equally the technical staff. Yamba. Don't ask me what Yamba means, but that is the chant of the fans of Victoria United to tell you that they are extremely happy. Mind you, this is going to be the first time that Victoria United would defeat Cotton Sport of Garwa for the first and, in the north, because last football season, it was Victoria United, Cotton Sport of Garwa and the likes of Gazette equally that defeated one people, one power in their own backyard. And this time around, Victoria United has a revenge, dishing out 3 goals and why not being able to pick up 6 points out of the northern region. But unfortunately for PWG of Bamenda equally, who was in the north, it was a 2 straight defeat for them where they were defeated by Kotospong and the likes of Gazelle. And yes, you must have enjoyed that welcome atmosphere that was created there by the fans of Victoria United at the Douala International Airport. Now, let's take a look at the results so far of how match day 17 of the MTN Elite 1 Championship played. Like I told you, we had the likes of Unisport that defeated AS Fortuna 8 goals to 0. And that game was played at exactly 8 p.m. Meanwhile, on Sunday, May 3rd, it was Gazette defeated by Victoria United. Cotton Sport of Garwa slapped PWD of Bamenda 5 goals to 2, while Fubu Azul picked up a 2-2 tie against Aigle Royal of the Menwa. Canon Sportif of Yaoundé split points with Panthère Sportif of Inde. Meanwhile, Aigle Royal of the Mongo was defeated by Dynamo Football Club of Douala 2 goals to 1. Stade Renard and the likes of Colombe Sportif of Inja and Lobo split points after a 0-0 tie. And that is how match day 17 of the MTN Elite 1 Championship played. Now, let's look at the standings so far. Which are the teams that have gained spots or others equally that have why not lose points in terms of match day 17. First on the classification table still is the likes of Unisport. I tell you, they are the surprise package of the MTN Elite 1 Championship. Unisport heads the MTN classification table after 17 playing days with a total of 39 points into their pocket, scoring plus 19 goals. Colombe Sportif sits at the second position with 28 points. Coton 28 points. Dynamo 28. Canon 27. And at the sixth position is One People One Power Victoria United 27, Gazelle 25, Panthère 25, PWD of Bamenda 23 points, Stade Renard 19, Aigle Royal of the Mongo of the Menwa 18, Fubu Azul 14, and the 2 bottom teams are AS Fortuna 12 points and Aigle Royal of the Mongo with just 12 points. And that is how the classification table of the MTN Elite 1 Championship looks like after 17 playing days. Let's take a look at how match day 18 is going to look at looking at the fixtures so far of the MTN Elite 1 Championship. Mind you, we are into the second phase of the competition where clubs are struggling to grab possible points to avoid relegation, and why not equally battle for either the first or the second or third position. And yes, in terms of match day 18 on Saturday, the 9th of May, you're going to have Unisport Bafang to welcome Canon Sportif of Yaoundé. Still 8 p.m. at the Bafang Stadium. I tell you, Unisport Bafang, they will tell us what they have with night games, and equally it has been paying off for them. Meanwhile, on Sunday, 10th of May, at the Melon Stadium at exactly 3 p.m., Aigle Royal of the Mongo against Colombe Sportif of Inja and Lobo. Meanwhile, in Yaoundé, AS Fortuna will clash against Coton Gazelle of Garwa. Meanwhile, same stadium, 4 p.m., Fubu against Cotton Sport of Garwa. And over there in the West region in Banjul, Stade Renard will welcome their backup boys, PWG of Bamenda, at exactly 3 p.m. Meanwhile, at the Bepanda Annex Stadium, Dynamo Football Club against Stade Renat of the Melon. Meanwhile, Victoria United will travel to Mbamenzi to clash against Aigle Royal of the Menwa. And that is it in terms of match day 18 of the MTN Elite World Championship for the fixtures. And yes, let me take you to the MTN Elite 2 Championship to look at how match day 12 of the MTN Elite 2 Championship is going to look like. And equally to remind you that Kumba City Football Club lost to the likes of Young last game, 1-0. And let's take a look at Pool A of the MTN Elite 2 Championship match day 12 fixtures, where you're going to be having the likes of RS Pop of Yaoundé to welcome Les Astres Football Club of Douala at the Fekafoot Technical Center there at exactly 2 p.m. While Edin Sport will clash against Apajas of Info at exactly 4 p.m. Meanwhile, Atlantic of Kribi against Sable of Bati at exactly 3 p.m. at the Afem Mambe Stadium in Kribi, while Ngakotunjang will welcome Union Sportive and equally Pool B. Let's look at the fixtures so far of Pool B, where you have Buffman United to welcome Tonnerre Football Club, and equally Kumba City will play at home against USA, that is Unisport Bafang, of Bombang, and Rasang equally will welcome Bambutus of Buddha at the Mbamezi Stadium. Meanwhile, on Thursday at Yafut will clash against Avion Academy. And that is it in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship so far. And now let's come back to the Southwest Regional League. Mind you, with clubs grabbing last points for the mini interpost, we had to, why not, sample some reactions in terms of the teams that some people think that they are going or that they would like to see at the level of the mini interpost. And we gather the following. Let us hear from their reactions.
This particular season, there's the likes of Talented that I've seen them play, especially in the first round of the championship. They had a good run of results in the start of the championship, though by the end they dropped points. But Talented is one of the teams I want to see in the mini interpost. Equally, the likes of Senior Dev FA. For the last 2 years, we have not seen Senior Dev really play the way they have played this particular season. And of course, even the game of today, you see Senior Dev struggle, but finally they went back with a victory. I think Senior Dev has improved, and seeing them improve like that, it is important for them to be able to reach the mini interpost, because we are seeing them fighting to actually reach the mini interpost. And of course, the likes of Fako United, they have been playing very well this particular season, and we are already seeing them into the mini interpost. Elexport equally, that have been, though they have dropped points in their last games, but Elexport have had a good run of results in the first round of the championship. So I think these are 4 teams that have observed in this first round of the championship and the start of the second round that I really want to see in the next round of the competition.
Faku United, they are the team to beat. That's why any team that plays Faku United, first you have that panic, first you have that that fear. But however, I think Bua United just showed today that they can do something against Faku United. And Faku United, that's why when I asked the coach how this draw affect the team, he says they are going to work on that. Likewise, Bua United too, they'll have some confidence. However, you see, now there is this fight for not only the mini interpost, but also the Super League for next year. That's why you see Sinodev is one of the most improved teams. I met with the coach off mic, and I told him that your team has improved ever since you lost to LS Sports of India in the first game. But since then, you have gone in an unbeaten run in the championship until you close the gap between Sinodev and LS Sports of India, which was 1 point, though LS Sports won their game 5-0. So you see that there is that Super League which every club wants to qualify for, and they don't only look at the mini interpost, they look at also that Super League for next football season. So there is this fight, there is this determination, there is this hunger, especially from Sinodev And I feel sorry for other clubs like Al Jazeera, because that's a team which I knew they were going to be in the mix of teams to qualify for the last 8. But however, that defeat against Atest, it was really a shocking one. And then they again lost. I think they lost their last game. So it has not really been well for Al Jazeera. That's a team I really foresee to be in the mix. When you count Paco United, you count Elexpo, you count the likes of Option Sport, then you start looking at Al Jazeera because of what they have been doing in the last couple of seasons. But however, I think then you go to the Kumba pool, you find out that a certain Man United Football Academy is doing wonders there. Yes, they had a riot in their last game, but they played good football in the first leg. I mean, the first one, sorry, where they had 8 points, then future dreams were 10. So there was that 2-point gap. So I think they were the surprise of the package of the season, just like they have Kamjo here in Paco. But there in Meme, you have Man United Football Academy. I think that's a team that, if watched carefully, because when Kumba City left the Meme pool, we knew that the likes of Kumbalekas, the likes of Future Dreams, Rising Stars, Bright Stars rather, were to be the top dog. But however, that did not really prove to be what we expected as Manu United Football Academy came to the mix, and they are on a verge. That game, I just feel like they're going to be sanctioned, but they will still play good football, especially in Manu, where games are now being played in Manu. That will have to be on their advantage. So I feel like the season now in Pool A, Paco is already gone. You now look for teams. I feel sorry for Best Stars Academy. I feel sorry for them. For the first time in consecutive back-to-back, they are failing to qualify for the mini interpools. Is really not good. And Talented has so far taken that Best Stars hegemony. Last season Talented qualified for the mini interpools, and this year again they are on the verge of doing so. Olebu United can also do that. I think that's if they win the games against Best Stars and Talented in the next couple of games. So I think for now we know the teams that are already in the mini interpools. I could say Paco United, I could say Elexpo, I could say Option Sport and Summer Sport still tight in that particular group. While also for Pool D, we are still tight there between Future Dreams and United Football Academy alongside Kumbalekas. Those teams are still really tight.
And yes, those are some of the samples that we have gotten so far from the pitch. And equally, we are going to be looking at the 2027 African Cup of Nations with the dates equally that have been unveiled by CAF. And Kusona Claudia equally compiled that those particular dates, or how the tournament is going to run, in the following report.
The tournament is scheduled to run from June 19 to July 17, 2027, making it only the second time the Africa Cup of Nations adopts a June-July calendar, following the shift first implemented at the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. The move, initially designed to align with the European off-season, was aimed at ensuring maximum player availability and reducing conflict with top clubs. However, CAF's confirmation that the dates required approval from the FIFA Council has once again highlighted the lingering question of autonomy within African football governance. Over the years, AFCON scheduling has often been shaped by external pressures, particularly from European leagues wary of releasing players mid-season. While the June-July window offers continuity, it also underscores a structural reality. CAF's flagship competition remains influenced by the broader international football calendar. This is likely to revive debate about whether African football is truly charting an independent course or adapting to global expectations.
I'm confident that the AFCON in Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda will be enormously successful.
Beyond the calendar, AFCON 2027 introduces a historic hosting model. For the first time, 3 nations, Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda, will jointly stage the tournament under the Pamoja banner, a Swahili term for togetherness. The Tri-Nations concept is expected to broaden the competition's reach, unlocking new commercial opportunities in East Africa while accelerating infrastructure development in stadiums, transport and tourism. It also positions football as a unifying force for regional integration, strengthening cooperation among the host countries. Yet, the model presents significant logistical challenges. Coordinating security, border movements and infrastructure standards across 3 countries would test CAF's organizational capacity at an unprecedented level. Meanwhile, CAF is yet to announce which host nation will stage the opening match and final, decisions that carry major symbolic and economic importance and could influence perception of balance among co-hosts. As preparations intensify, AFCON 2027 stands as more than just a football tournament. It is a defining test of CAF's ability to innovate, expand its footprint, and navigate the fine line between continental ambitions and global football realities.
And yes, so next year we will be talking about Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda in terms of the 2027 African Cup of Nations. It's no longer going to be Morocco, but you're going to be hearing the Pamoja African Cup of Nations 2027. And that is what we had for you today in terms of sports update. And yes, we are going straight away to meet our guest for the day equally, and it's no other person than Jemia Teke, and equally we call him the archive of sports. Good evening to you and welcome on the program, Jemia Teke.
Yeah, good evening, Sunita. Good evening to the televiewers out there.
I was an opportunity to wish you happy Labor Day.
Yes, the day has come, but it has gone, and it was a day to reflect as workers of institutions. You know, yeah. It's a time to it's like the first year of every worker,
or a
new year of every worker, I mean to say.
Yeah.
And so another year has started for workers. So it's just for us to continue keeping the good work and improve on what we are doing and be unique.
Definitely, I like that. So you who is not improving, it's time for you to improve in every sector that you find yourself. And equally World Press Freedom Day in our year.
Well, that one, we know the press, yes, that I think 1948 or so, where the press was given that pride of honor to have a day to celebrate this particular day. Well, I think it is left for us as journalists in Cameroon to reflect on the context that we are and look at how we can dish out information, get the information. I really don't want to talk about this World Press Freedom Day because
you're going to ask yourself how free is the press, especially in our context here in Cameroon.
Yeah, so we see our colleagues out there in maybe Nigeria, next door Nigeria. We see how they operate. We see how they do their things. It is different from us. So I would not really want to dive into that because it's a whole long topic which if you can take the whole day to come up with the analysis. But however, it's a day where we have to really reflect whether we are really doing our job or we are really doing it's ethics. So ask yourself, is ethics really a reality in journalism, or is accuracy really, is balance really, or as propaganda now be the order of the day in terms of journalism? We know even in sports milieu there are the propagandists.
The worst.
Who are pro those in power.
The Eglisien and Ebu.
Yeah, so just like we have in the political setting. So there is a lot of things to really look at in the media sector, but I don't want to really dive into.
Definitely, like you earlier said, it's for us now to evaluate ourselves if as women and men of the press we are doing all that it takes, or what the ethics demand us to do. And away from that, let's now wear the shoes, the football shoes, the sporting shoes. And I know you are an Arsenal fan. And I'm sure you guys played on Saturday. I mean, I could not rest. Everywhere Arsenal, but that was mind-blowing in terms of the scoreline. Jamie Ateke, Arsenal fan, I know you're not breathing some little air.
Yes, the Arsenal, I think the they actually have to win something this season. Yes, they were pursuing the quadruple before the end of April, but as it stands now, they are on two fronts to win the UEFA Champions League as well as the English Premier League. Now, on Saturday, they had to really win the game against Fulham, which was a really tricky game, knowing that Fulham also is eyeing European positions for next football season. So you understand that Arsenal, the games against Newcastle and Fulham were to be those games that comes in like a joker to put City under pressure, because before City plays today, and Arsenal have played two games. Yeah, City has to play today and then play on Saturday before Arsenal plays against West Ham on Sunday. So Arsenal have done their part. They are now 6 points clear. Now it's now left for City playing Everton, going to Brentford at the weekend, and then after that they play Crystal Palace before they play Chelsea in the FA Cup. So that pressure now is on City now to do catch up. Yes, they have 5 games in hand, including the one of today. Arsenal has 3, but now Arsenal has done their job. So I think the game we lost against Bournemouth, as well as Man City, the consecutive games, as well as the League Cup, which we lost in April, I think those games should be the lesson for Arsenal to go now and win all games. The game now we are afraid of is the West Ham game, with Tottenham winning yesterday against Villa at the Villa Park. It has put more pressure on West Ham, who are now in the relegation zone. So now playing against Arsenal, West Ham can come in to spoil the party for Arsenal, because they too are fighting for survival in the league. So that's where now we have problems. But with the Arsenal, I know with the coming of Bukayo Saka, with the coming of Odegaard, I think Julian Timber should be fit next week. That brings in much more oxygen into the team, and then bring in the confidence again back into the Arsenal team in the last 3 games. So first tomorrow we are going to start with the game Atletico Madrid. At home is going to be they face the home advantage count. We saw how Atletico played to that in their first leg, where they had so many chances but couldn't capitalize on that. So now they're coming to the Emirates Stadium, where the Arsenal are unbeaten in the Emirates in the Champions League. So I think Arsenal, there is no room for mistakes. They have to win something.
Definitely.
And you look at Arteta, 6 seasons, he's won already the FA Cup. So there is need for him to cement his legacy at Arsenal to be in one of the greats after Herbert Chapman, George Graham, as well as Arsene Wenger. He should be amongst those top coaches who have coached Arsenal and brought glory to them. So this season will be that defining season, whether he puts himself into the mix of those top managers who have passed through the ranks of Arsenal. But we have to start from tomorrow against Atletico.
Definitely. And the big question is, will Arsenal be able to defeat Atletico Madrid? Mind you, they are on a 1-1 agreed. And you who is watching us, you have the number on your screen. You can send in your predictions to that particular game, and you might stand a chance to win, why not, 1,000 of airtime. Like I said, if you're watching us, the game Arsenal and Atletico Madrid counting for the UEFA Champions League semi-finals return leg. Arsenal and Atletico Madrid are for tomorrow. The prediction is in your box, and equally away from UEFA Champions League and the likes of Arsenal and Atletico Madrid. Jamie Ateke, it is Victoria United that grabbed 6 points into their pockets over there in the northern region, defeating Cotton Sport of Garwa and the likes of Gazelle.
Yeah, I think Victoria United, they are a club, since winning the championship, they have really not been consistent as we saw them when they qualified for the Elite 2 Football Championship. You know, when they qualified for Elite 2 in 2023, they moved to Elite 1 the following season, and then the following season they won the league. So last season, or season before last, you understand that they finished, I think, the mid-table. But now the first round of matches didn't go well for Victoria United, knowing the defeat to Canon of Yaoundé at the Limbe Omisport Stadium. It was a bitter pill to swallow, knowing that Canon was 9 man down, two men down because they finished that game with 9 men. So that really posed some psychological problems at Victoria United, knowing that that game should have been a game that they should win, and with their old schoolboy Wilfred Nathan coming back to town, seeing that he punished his club, Victoria United. I think that first round wasn't really the first round the president as well as the faithfuls of Victoria United wanted to see. But coming now into the second phase of the tournament or the championship, Victoria United had to pick up some couple of wins, and we never saw it coming that going to Garua, they were going to do the magic to get the two vital wins against those teams from the north. You know, to go to the north and stay there for close to a week and play Kotong and Gazelle is not an easy task. And Opopo went there and they succeeded. They got the win against Kotong Sports of Garua, and they got the win against Gazelle Football Academy. I think Kotong Sports of Garua, who were flying high in the second round, were going for a long period of time without being beaten, though they lost to P. Bamenda in Bamenda. But as in the turn of the second round, they too have not really found their balance alongside Gazelle. They have dropped down the pecking order, although Kotong Sport is still in the mix in the first three. But I think with that win of Opopo, I think now they are fifth in the table. So that has put them on a comfortable position to hunt for maybe one of those two or top three places of the championship, should they continue like that. But I feel like this win against Gazelle Football Academy is a moral booster. It comes in to push their vision to attain their objective. Are they going to contest for the title? It looks like Unisport is already gone with the title, but now how then can they finish in those fine places like the top two, the top three? That is where they should be looking at this point in time. So I see that the black and white, the girlfriend of the zebra, is really going to do something this particular round. But they should be setting their ambition on the Cup of Cameroon, because that's what they have not yet won. And should they put all their arsenals in that, I think they can win it and maybe go at the end of the season with something. Because they will not want to go this season again without anything in the pocket. So this time around, maybe they should be looking at the Cup of Cameroon, see how they can go there and find a victory against any other team that comes in the Cup of Cameroon.
Definitely, especially when, if I'm not making a mistake, 2 seasons ago, they were kicked out at the level of the rounds of 16, and that was in the Yaoundé. We are hoping that the likes of their president, Kwam Valentine, maybe he should be able to consider the Cup of Cameroon. But before we get to why not close the chapter of Victoria United, so far, can we say that with these 2 victories grabbed over there in the North region, as they are going to be traveling to the West region, maybe Victoria United can pick up a 3 straight win in terms of this season? Is it possible, looking at the momentum that these boys now have?
Yeah, they can pick a victory against Aigle of the Menwa. But mind you that Aigle of the Menwa, they too have their own peculiarity. You know, they too were in the mix of the relegation battle in the first phase of the tournament. They had a draw against Unisport of the Oncam. That was the last time Unisport draw points was against Aigle of the Menwa. So Aigle are not pushovers. Mind you that they have the top scorer of this game, the Fuchu Blaise, who has scored 12 goals in this particular championship this season. So it's going to be difficult for them to go. You know, they travel in Garua to Limbe, then Limbe back to the west. It's going to really be exhaustive, and it now depends now on how the team now is prepared mentally and psychologically to face this Aigle side. And Aigle, in their home games, they always prove to be tough against teams that come to visit. So we're left now for how the Opopo players are well prepared after that win. But like I said, the fact that they won in the north, I will give them that boost their psychology, boost their mentality going into this particular game. But I'll fancy a draw in this one. I think they can only return back to winning ways back at home. They cannot really go to the West and get all 3 points. It's going to be difficult, knowing that Egle is also fighting for relegation and fighting to not to avoid, to avoid those bottom places in the championship. So it's going to be tough. I fancy a draw in this one.
Now, what you talk about the aspect of them traveling from the north and coming. Yes, they have arrived, and their game is on Sunday. Don't you think that that's enough time for the team to recover their lost calories, and why not perform so well on Sunday?
Yeah, you know they play 3 away games. Then that is a 3 away games. So it's
no, two because they played Dinamo before going to the north, and where they lost.
Yeah, they lost Kutong and Gazelle. They played. They just when you are going to the north, you are playing 2 games. So they have played those 2 away, plus now they are going to play Egle.
Yeah, another
and
away
that's
game.
So there is this away syndrome, with the fact that the transportation is not the fast transportation that doesn't exhaust players. Yeah. It is by road.
But these guys use plane, which is comfortable.
Because they are going to Garua. Normally, this Egle, they are going to the West, and the West is usually by road. Yeah. So I think that, like I said, it's all about the preparation of the players. Okay. Prepare them psychologically and mentally to face the challenge. They know the challenge. They know that at this time they are looking for not only mid-table now, because mid-table should be 7-8. But now they are looking at themselves and say, okay, can we overshadow Gazelle? Can we overshadow the likes of Dinamo or Pibamenda in the top 5 or top 4? So that's where they are looking at, knowing that they want to have a good end of the season. So I think they will be going there if prepared and if well driven by confidence. I think they can go there and spring some surprises. But like I said, I will still go for a draw.
And now we're talking about Egle Royal of the men, who is currently having the highest goal scorer of the competition, but they are positioned 11. You have Unisport, who is positioned first with 39 points, but you don't have the highest goal scorer of the competition, despite the fact that they have 19 goals plus. Does it ring something in your head? I mean, in terms of the championship in general.
Yes, the Egle side, yes, they might have the top scorer, but the attackers win new games, defenders win new titles. So at this point in time, they have the future Blaze who is scoring. They don't have the defense that can withstand those goals, that can protect those goals. So Egle can score 4 goals, but they will score them 5. They have scored 22 and conceded 21. So that's the difference. So you see that they don't have that squad depth that can go all the way to win you consecutive games, or to win you maybe a 7-game streak, or go for 3 games or 4 games without conceding. So they concede, at least now is 17 games already played in the Elite Championship, and they have conceded 21 goals. That's close to 1.25 goal per game, if you do the mathematical calculations well. So they concede 1.25 goal per game. So that doesn't guarantee them to finish to be among the mix or the big boys of the championship. So it's just like the days where Jules Amanko was at Ashley, but the goals were coming, but they couldn't win Ashley the championship. Likewise, we've seen attackers, teams providing top scorers. Last year we had Shes Dura. In the days we have Thierry Akono with IS Fortuna Onfu, who was finishing top scorer, but Fortuna was struggling. We also had Adolphe Kembe of Colombe back in the days, and Mani, who also scored 20+ goals, but could not. Even Kache Boris, who scored 18 for Bambutu Sampuda a few seasons ago and Foncha Street, but they didn't go on to win the league. So it's all about you having the defensive might that can protect those goals. You can score 2 and you have a clean sheet, but some teams can score 4, they concede 5. So that's where the problem is. That's where Egle of the Mongo find themselves. So that's why you see where they are in that particular situation. But however, we are not saying the future Blaze is just finding himself in the wrong place because he is scoring the goals, but he doesn't have those that can carry in with what he has. That can they are playing to his to his path, but they cannot defend the club in terms of keeping clean sheets, winning games in streaks. So that's where Egla has a problem. But like I said, they can actually survive relegation with such a guy like in the future Blaze. But to say they can be in the mix of the big boys is going to be difficult at this point in time.
Definitely, and equally, before we get to talk about Unisport, a quick one on to that beautiful goal that was scored by Ngangle over there against Gazelle. I mean, many persons have spoken about Ngangle in the days, especially when he was playing for Isle of Hope Sports Academy, Isosa, before they were relegated, and coming to Victoria United, he has equally performed. I mean, Jamie Teke, when we see such curves from a player like Ngangle, some of us will remember the likes of Ashu Breeze, still of Isosa, in terms of the 2022 National Interpost in Yaoundé. So far, has he been one of the players that you can talk about in the Southwest region?
Yeah, you know, those are players. The Isosa team had good players. Agbo, who was Ayuk, the guy who traveled. There have been so many of them. Elwood Benta,
yes.
Yeah, and Arif Jefta.
Who is in PWD.
Yeah, Arif Jefta and the rest. Who we have Wilson Gange now, who is at LSPO.
Jefta Ray.
Yeah, who is now with Dinamo of Douala.
Yeah.
So there was that Isosa team which was really brought together by Len Emile when he took over and won the National Interpols, defeating Bafman United in the final. That team which went all the way to Elite 2 and survived Elite 2, played for 2 seasons. Yeah, the team normally they had that good dream team where you can see free flow football, you can see the game being played, everybody giving his all in the field of play. So now since the team dissolved, most of those players find themselves in different clubs and they are improving.
Yeah.
Gamle is one of them.
Yeah.
We know of Elwood Benta with Kiba Benda. We know of Arif Jefta with Dinamo of Douala. So there are so many of them who are distributed in almost all the elite clubs, doing great there. It shows how impactful Len Emile has been to see that these guys, he brought the best from these guys and made them useful names in the elite championship. So I think it's a good one for Isosa, although it's unfortunate that Isosa is no longer existing. Yeah. But you understand that they left a legacy that their players are everywhere
and they're doing well.
Yeah, and they're doing well. So I think that's a very good positive remarks from Isosa. It shows, should they have had the opportunity to continue, then they could have made some good strides to bring up young talent. You know, it was a project which they had scouting for young talents
to develop
and then put them in the market for those European and foreign clubs to come and buy. So the project looks like it has died down, and well, it is unfortunate, and it happens in football where you can nurture players at one point in time, but your dreams, maybe financial issues and so forth, come into play, and then the dreams fail. So, but however, it's an eye opener that when you want to do something, you must be prepared for it.
Definitely. And Gangle now plays for Victoria United of Limbe, the lone flag bearer in terms of the MTN Elite One Championship of the Southwest region. I call him a little rabbit. Tactically, speed up front. Technically, he knows how to do his thing, and we are hoping that as they are going to be traveling into Bamenzi coming this Sunday, Victoria United equally will be able, or should be able, to make everything possible to grab at least a point, especially when in terms of the second phase of the MTN Elite One Championship, playing their first game at home against Dynamo Football Club of Douala. It was a defeat, and going right up to the north to pick up 6 points is the booster to them, and even to the Northwest region is another encouragement. But now the big question is, what strategy are they going to implement over there in the West region, and equally, especially when they are going to be playing match day 19 at home, in which they have not won a game at home for a very, very long time. Away from Victoria United, equally, we are wishing them good luck for this Sunday over there in the West region. Let's talk about Unisport. Before we even look at the likes of their points grabbed already, I mean, this is a team that have derived a strategy to play all games in the evening, and it has been paying. Jamie Ateke, I mean, we look at the gates taking, the population that comes into the pitch, it's something to talk about.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the business aspect of it. You know, you have to really strategize, and I think what the West region is doing is what other clubs should be looking at. Where you have, that's if there will be transparency in such situations or initiative. It's a very good initiative, but though people are looking at it as maybe working on their advantage, it is not really on their advantage. It is to project the image of Cameroon football to be played at night consecutively. Now, you know, when you play at night, it gives room for the stadiums to be filled, because many people must have been done with their activities or daily activities like work. Then you have time to go and relax, maybe in the stadium to watch the Elite One games. So I think it's a very good strategy to generate income. The game itself generated 3.5 million francs CFA, which is also a record, unlike what was generated in the P Bamenda game
against Victoria United.
Yeah, against Opopo, as well as the P game in the, I think, the first round or so
of the competition.
So, yeah, so those are strategies to generate income. But how come? I mean, how are they going to be transparent in those income generating strategies? So, but however, it's a good initiative to play games at night.
Evening.
We expected Coton to take this lead because they are the front runners of Cameroon football, and we know Coton Sport usually go for Africa, and most of the times when they travel, they play at night. So they must understand that they are preparing for the future. They are looking at themselves in the CAF Champions League, playing a club in the CAF Champions League where you play at night. So you have to start being playing at night is a different ball game.
Definitely.
It's different from day, because you must be used to it. That's why you see that most at times leagues must try as much as possible to organize games in the night to ensure that their players get acclimatized with this night football. And that is what Unisport is doing. And they are looking at their vision and seeing that next season, everything being equal, the way they are going, they will play the Champions League, either the preliminaries, or if they do well, they go to the group stage. So they might find themselves playing the Caribbean countries where they play at night, and it might be difficult for them. But now that they are already preparing for that, it will not be any problem for them to play at night. So, but however, they have been excellent this season under a coach like Laurent Jam. Is an experienced name in the Cameroon football ecosystem. Looking at Laurent Jam's track record from UMS of Loom, where he won the championship in 2019, he went to Bambutu Sampuda. He was there for a couple of years before moving to Leopard of Douala. Now he has come to Unisport of the Oncam. I think he's a man who understands the championship, just like we have the likes of Dumbe Bosso. We've started now, just like we have Bwetene Boile with Pante. Those were the cream of coaches we had some 5-6 years ago who were animating the championship. And we have Standby, who is one of the most experienced players in the elite football, playing with Unisport of the Oncam. He comes in with the experience. He has played for multitude of clubs in the elite football. So you see that Unisport, they were the surprise package coming from the elite, just like Opopo did in 2022-23 season. They came that same route, and coming in the elite one, nobody saw them, because this year we knew Pante were going to ask for the championship because of their exploits in the Cup of Cameroon. They finished second to Colombe. Yeah, finished second
last
to
year's
Cologne.
competition, yeah.
And then they played the Super Cup and won it.
For future.
Yeah. So then Cotton was in the mix with Pago coming into the mix at Cotton. Then we saw even the likes of Zenamo with Sue Simply. So there was this much talk that these were the clubs that were going to fight.
Nobody saw
coming
Unisport.
to just do their normal maintenance. So I think it is really, they are really going to win it because the West region is really behind this club. Yes, they are from the Bafang municipality, but the West region is behind them. Because if you look at the history of Cameroon football, the West region, only 4 clubs from the West region have won the Elite One Championship. You have Sable, you have Racine, you have Fuvu, and then you have Unisport. The last won it in 1996. So they will look at that and see the West region is found wanting it has been rotatory between north, center, littoral, north, center, littoral, recently southwest and northwest. So they want the West should also show. Fufu won the Cup of 2022, and we saw Panther winning last season. So you see that yes, they have been striving in the Cup of Cameroon recent years, but now they need the league. They need it since 1996. It's way long, 30 years on. So since Unisport won it, though Fufu won it in 2000 in the year 2000, then they had players like Marcos Mutake, Enes Bakenga Enes. He was one of the top defenders then, and then the coach was Bonaventure Jonkep, who was the man behind that Fufu team. So you see that Unisport, they are on course, and with an Elite One winner like Laurent Jam, they know they can win it. And with the clubs behind them, Colombe, Coton, Popo, Dynamo, Panther are all losing points. Now they are 12 points. Is it 12 points difference between them and second place? So that already gives you a picture where they are, and they are scoring goals.
Yeah, definitely.
And they are not only, that's the difference now we talked about. They are scoring the goals, and they are the top scorers in the championship with 32 goals. They scored more goals combined combined Fuvazu, Egle, AS Fortuna. So it tells you where they are going. It tells you that they don't only score goals, but they keep clean sheets. They've conceded 18. Yeah. And they are one of the least teams to have concede this season. So they have that championship might, that other champions might in them, and which they can use to go all the way to win the championship. Like I said, the West region is all behind them. And you know, when the West region wants to support, they come with all their hearts. They have the financial might, they have the unity, and they have the fan base.
You talk about might. These people started the championship selling their jerseys 10,000. But right now, it is 15,000 francs.
Yeah, it's all about merchandising and raising funds. You know, in Cameroon football, it's not like in Europe where we have TV rights. In Cameroon, the main source of incomes are gate
subventions.
Subvention, gate takings.
That many clubs stick on.
Yeah, subvention, gate takings, and player sales. Player sales doesn't really matter at this point in time, because you rarely find a Cameroonian club selling directly to maybe a European club. But aside from player sales, you have also the sales of gadgets, club gadgets, which is also what gives the club some money. You know, P. Bamida once gave an account of their jerseys, which they said they have reached 1,000 sales or so. So that's one way which clubs can make money.
The same strategy that Victoria United used 2 years ago.
Yeah, also the shirt sponsors too can also raise funds for clubs. So, but like I said, Unisport, the West region as a whole, they always have their ways when it comes to raising of funds. That's why there was a year where we had 7-8 clubs from the West region in the elite, because there was that financial power, that unity, that fan base that comes from the West. So now, yes, they've been trying to win the league, but this time around, I think Unisport should be winning the league. You know, they had their troubles at elite football with Ngameni, the former president, having problems with the federation, and he was sanctioned with the Hupo game after the football game in 2023. Where it was chaos.
He ended prematurely.
Yeah, he was suspended and he came
it's
back.
It's only God that knows how he left the pitch that day.
Yeah, so all those things have contributed to their restructuring, to their rebranding. We saw how when they played one game, I think that was against Colombia. Yeah, it was against Colombia where they portrayed the faces of the different players around the pitch. That was another way of branding their club,
players, yeah.
putting their club into the
limelight.
So I think they are doing a good job. And like I said, with a man like Logan Jam there, I think he knows how to protect that league. And they are going for their first league title in 30 years.
So we are saying that for our last words, it's Unisport of the home camp that as of now is not threatened in terms of our first position.
Yeah, it's them to lose. It's them to lose at this point in time. It's remaining. We have match day 28 playing days. So as it stands now, match day 18 will make it 10 playing days remaining. So it's them to lose. Should they sleep at one point in time? But I don't really see Unisport losing 3-4 games
in a row,
or going
especially
3-4 games without a win. So I really see them going on course to win this championship. And they could win it before even the last day.
And yes, a quick one before we take a leave of you. In terms of PWD of Bamenda, many persons, we equally spoke to the media officer of PWD of Bamenda, who was for the fact that despite the fact that they played most of their home games at home, and this second phase they are going to be playing out, it's going to be a tough one for them. And looking at the first 4 days of play for the second phase of the competition, can we say really P is draining?
Yeah, for P Bamenda, I think what is really working with them is lack of confidence.
Okay.
Yes, because the game they lost against Victoria United at home, the 1-0 defeat, it was a game which they prepared
so much.
Yeah, and they prepared, they over-prepared that game from what happened in the first leg in Limbe.
Yeah.
They wanted a revenge for that particular game. And the entire stadium was jam-packed to witness them destroy Victoria United. From that point, when Upupo won that particular game, I think it was really
the morale dropped.
There was a mass drop from their performance. So I think that game against Upupo was the killer, psychologically, mentally, and their confidence dropped. Had it been they won that game, they would have had
a booster.
Yeah, the players, everybody was disappointed with the preparation,
But now with this disappointment, what can the coach do to revive that that we saw?
They need a win from somewhere.
Okay.
They need a win from somewhere. I don't know how they will get it, but they need a win. They desperately
are playing Panther.
Yeah, they need a win from somewhere to bring them back into that winning ways, because they were third in the first round.
Yes.
And we knew they were going for the title. Then it was just 5 points difference between them and Unisport of the Okam. So we knew they were going to close the gap alongside Cotton Sports of Garua. But I just feel like that lack of confidence and that defeat to Upupo was a psychological slap to them, and which they have not yet recovered from that defeat. And with the fact that they lost heavily again to Cotton Sports of Garua, they ended their winning streak. So you see that they are losing games which they won in the first round. So
yes.
that's where the psychology continued to drop. Yeah, they won Cotton 2-0, which was the end of the streak of Cotton Sports of Garua. They were on 7 games in the first round, and they went to the proximity stadium in Bamenda, and the Abakwa boys had to inflict 2-0 win over them. So now they lose to Cotton Sports, not only 1-0, but heavily.
5. So
you understand, all those things are playing against P. Bamenda. Now it's now left, I think there is need for the coach to drill them,
encourage them,
give them that push again to go into their next game, because they are dropping, and with the likes of Popo picking wins, the likes of Nzinamo, Pante, Canon also coming in, they might find themselves in those areas where you just barely find 1 point, because I think they're still on 23 points, and the likes of Panther and Zinamo have moved on. So they should be very careful. Should they lose their next game, I think it's going to be dangerous for them.
Definitely, and they are going to be facing Panther in terms of match day 18 of the MTN Elite One Championship. And our studio clock says that it's time for us to go. But before we take a leave of you, thank you very much, Jamie Ateke. Maybe your last words.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here again, and we hope that the viewers always enjoy this sports package, and we know, we just hope, pray, and that next week we'll always be there again.
Definitely. And for him next week, for me, you're going to see this face again on Friday, same at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And equally, it would, on this particular note, or the reminder of the fixtures of match day 18 of the MTN Elite One Championship, and equally an applause to the fans of Victoria United for welcoming their players after 2 outings. They were able to grab 6 points, conceding just 1 goal in terms of that particular outing. Equally, congratulations to the technical staff for a marvelous job, because a win for Victoria United is not just a win for the club, but equally for the Southwest region. And equally, Kumba City Football Club will be playing at home. So
innovating in the...
Don't forget to visit the GPS school field, where Kumba City equally will be playing for match day 12 of the MTN Elite 2 Championship. And I remain Sonita Ngunyit. A big thank you equally to Dave for making sure that we are live every 5 p.m. on Mondays, Fridays, Wednesdays, and equally Saturdays. And equally to remind you that Press R, or News R rather, will be coming up in some moments ahead with Frida Lena. Bye-bye. Do have a lovely evening.